Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of ARCHAEOASTRONOMY from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com for more information.
Bar. Hasse is an abbreviation of the name of Haile Selassie. K for Kedemawi, Ha for Haile, Se for Selassie. Now, saying Bake Hasse is like saying the people of Haile Selassie. We chose that, Bake Hasse, meaning those of Haile. And then we based our thing on Pan-African teachings of Haile Selassie, where Haile Selassie talk about Africa, where Haile Selassie talk about African spirituality, African culture, because you hear His Majesty, he talks, mostly Rasta love to quote His Majesty's Christian speeches and his Christian faith and his confession of faith. But His Majesty go on and say, yes, I'm a Christian, but as a king, I'm equally a Christian, a Muslim, and a pagan. Now we took the pagan part because usually the pagan, they relate to the African indigenous practices in Ethiopia, the practices of the Oromos, the Sidama tribes, the not so dominant tribes, but indigenous tribes of Ethiopia, whom we share same cultural unity, because we know that also the Ethiopian culture for the past 3,000 years is Judeo-Christian. From Queen of Sheba met Solomon, you can read in the Kebra Negas that she came back with the religion of Solomon and tell the Ethiopians to stop worshipping what they were worshipping, and they changed their culture, they adopted Solomon's culture. So they move away from their indigenous worship system and they bring in the concept of the God of Israel. And then 2,000 years ago, they accepted Christianity. As His Majesty said, we in Ethiopia received first the religion of the Old Testament, and we receive first the religion of the New Testament. Now the question is, receive it from where? Obviously, it's received from outside of Ethiopia. So we don't get too much into debate with people trying to tell us that, oh, this thing is African, what. Which tribe in Africa have a name called Jesus? You know, which tribe in Africa, people's names are Paul, Peter? Those are not even African names. Which tribes in Africa believe in these things that are found in there, which are very much an intolerant God. Most of African spiritual tradition, they talk of God the Mother, God the Father. It's not only God as Jehovah there alone and an angry God and so forth. So we look at the cultural differences and the idea that ultimately Rastafari, it should not separate us from our Africanness. It should be affirming our Africanness. Now, what we have seen then with the 12 tribes of Israel, Bobo Shanti and Nyabingi coming from Jamaica and being taught here, they were taught more like a foreign religion, that you have to relinquish your African culture. Most of these Ides who follow these traditions, they don't have good relationship with their parents or with their ancestors because they develop the same thinking like the Western missionaries. You know, they come and tell you that your African tradition is pagan, your ancestors are demons, your African way of doing things.
That's what you experience in the Bingi. That's why you left the Bingi.
Yes, that's what I left the Bingi. That's what I experienced in the Bingi.
Honestly, just want to say quickly, because honestly, just quickly, not to cut your flow. I don't want to cut your flow, but I know for sure, because I have my own experience, that there's a heavy lack of understanding, especially coming through the years, with certain things that are Afrocentric, as you said, you know. Especially even reading the Bible, and you would hear of how Egypt would and the captivity zone. So somehow we translate that to the place they call Egypt today. And so there's a lot of things. I understand that part. But I come to believe that we are a bit more mature now. For a good while now, I don't think I've come across such ignorance, me personally, where, especially as you said, ancestor worship and acknowledging your ancestors. It's a while I've come across anybody that said he's a Rasta that trying to diss ancestor communication. Honestly, I just say that.
No, I mean, you are in the West, and this is where all of these things we receive from. If there's going to be any evolution of consciousness or change in the doctrine or the attitude, it will start there in the West. I told you that most of I here, when they become Rasta, they turn Jamaican. They think, okay, this is what Jamaican want. I mean, like, okay, some will preach like that. Some priest Maddock will say, or I heard some youths, I did not really hear him directly. I heard some of the Bobo youths, they will say, no, he encourages embracing some of the African spirituality, and at the same time also is condemning other things about African ancestors and so forth. So you will definitely expect, as much as you would expect also, there is a great movement across the board, across the Bingi. You get some ones in the Bingi, in the Bobo, in the 12 tribe who are holding on to their African roots and the African culture and the African spirituality. There is a great awakening, as much as there is still great ignorance. Because most of people think when they articulate that ignorance, they are actually articulating a confession of faith. It's like when you say, yeah, these African things, ancestor things are backward, it makes you more Rasta. You know, like when you bash African culture, you feel like it makes you more Rasta. You understand? So I've been called names, and half of them, they are tired. Some, they begin to join us and all of that. From we are pagan, and you ask why? Because I'm advocating a return to ancestral consciousness, a return to African spirituality, an African world view, and life view. I mean, most of these things, they don't even have conflict. And the sad part is most of these African youths who are condemning this African spirituality, they're the second generation of Africans, in a sense that their parents and their grandparents were converted into Christianity. So therefore, they are coming to an Africa that they know little about. Even when they tell you that these things are pagan, they can't even make a paragraph for you to explain to you how is it pagan. They don't know what they're dealing with. But when you start to deal with these things, you study them, the Zimbabwean cosmology, Muari, you learn the same thing, but these things have a lot to complement Rastafari in terms of italivity. The Zimbabwean cosmology, they tell you that the god Muari said to Musigavanu that tell the people that you must never eat animal, you must only eat plants. Now some will be saying, oh, we condemn these African practices because they shed blood. They do goat sacrifice. They slaughter chickens. You understand? And some they think they are better than their parents because their parents eat meat. And they will even have funny names like, oh, they are vampires, they are cannibals, all this type of nonsense, which is an expression of deep-seated ignorance. But then through engagement, through reasoning, there are changes. And through information that is coming up, there are changes, steady changes, where people are really beginning to awaken to their own African reality. Like now there is an initiative that was started by Empress Marina from New York, but I think born in Jamaica. She used to be she's a Bobo Empress. She started this initiative, African Rastafari New Faculty of Overstanding, where we are having webinars. We are planning a summit in May in Ethiopia or Ghana. Yeah, still on. And where one of the things that will be reflected on is Rastafari and African spirituality, Rastafari and African culture. Where is the meeting point? Where can one see divinity outside of Rastafari?
Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of ARCHAEOASTRONOMY from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.